Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Ugly Bug Fishing Report with Dustin White. How you doing, Dustin?
Marvin, loving life. How are you doing, my friend?
Just living the dream as always and trying to stay out of trouble. And, talking to you before we started recording, it sounds like Christmas has come early in Casper.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got cool temps, and what that's brought is some just phenomenal fishing on all three systems that we're on. So reef all the way down below town, Mile and in the Horn are all just fishing phenomenally right now. It's been really, really fun, and starting to have a lot more fish looking up.
Yeah, which is great, right? So basically what's happening is we're kind of moving away. Flows are leveling out. It's cooled off finally, right? And
yeah.
And so
finally,
yeah, and so you can nymph fish on all of these fisheries, and as it gets colder, the streamer fishing is just going to keep getting better and better. But we've hit that sweet spot for consistent hatches, right?
Yep. The morning, we're still seeing some tricos and pseudos, but like our blue wing hatch has been really, really solid in the morning. Just clouds of blue wings, to the point where, we were joking about it. One of the guys and I were driving our shuttle the other day with our windows down, and you were getting smacked in the face with bugs. They were that thick. So it's been really, really good. And then, as you get later in the day, some caddis and some caddis with size coming off. So those fish are definitely, looking up, and this is the typical time of year for that to happen to us. So, a lot of times the summer, it's just not productive dry fly fishing, but right now it is all go, especially on the reef. The fish are definitely looking up, and so it's made for some really, really exciting fishing to be done there in kind of any and all stretches you're on it. So it's not like the midsection's any better than this next section of the float. Each and every section of what we would call the reef is fishing pretty well now and having fish looking up.
Yeah, well, it's great because you got all that soft water kind of regardless of where you're floating,
yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so, when you're driving and you're picking the bugs out of your teeth, that means there are a lot of bugs on the water. So particularly when you have small bugs like BWOs, what's your strategy for, fishing something you can see and knowing that you have a take?
Yeah, a lot of times I always want to I always like to rig two bugs up and have your cider bug, as kind of your point fly, something bigger, and something in the ballpark too that could be on the water then. So throwing a bigger caddis pattern and then having a trailer of that blue wing behind it, just to kind of be able to have an indication that if something blows up in and around that bigger fly, it might not be on that fly, it very well could be, but if there's a fish that takes somewhere in the vicinity of that, there's a good chance it's on your line, even if you can't quite see it. So that's been successful for us thus far. And so, folks are getting out there and seeing a lot of little bugs and having a tough time picking up what their fly actually is. They're a little bit bigger dry fly on that, again, not being obnoxious, but something just big enough for you to be able to see a caddis pattern or something like that, and then having that blue wing or trico, pseudo, whatever the smaller bug is that you might be finding at that moment behind it, then you can kind of identify it. But that's mainly been our morning. Once we get to mid morning, early afternoon, then our hatch is switching over to caddis, and so and they're sizable caddis, so folks should be able to hopefully pick those up and be able to see that. But having a tandem dry fly rig has been very, very effective. So if folks fish that, they should see some success on the water there.
Gotcha. And on the streamer front, I know you guys like to fish a small streamer getting chased by a big streamer. Is that what you're doing right now?
Yep. Still doing that. White definitely is the best color for us right now at this point. Still have a lot of free floating moss, and so whereas a lot of times olive and white kind of tandem together can be really effective patterns, with all that free floating moss, grass that's still breaking loose, coming off the summer. those fish, are seeing a lot of green things coming past them. So having something, a little brighter, a little flashier, like a white streamer, and as you said, a tandem one too, can work out pretty well. Seen a lot of fish hanging on flats. And so, what I've been telling my clients is don't give up on that retrieve, so we're still pounding the banks, but don't give up on it. Bring it back to the boat. We've had a few eats, even, figure eighting, using some pike or muskie tactics, had a few eats, doing that. So, those fish are sitting kind of spread out throughout the channel, and so don't give up on those retrieves as folks are stripping those streamers in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I would say, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly, which we do. But this was the last episode you guys had a chance to ask questions. So the next time we're going to actually draw for the fly box. And I don't know, we've talked about it, I think, every time, Dustin, but you want to kind of let folks know about what's going to be in this tailwater box. And, even if they can't come out and fish the North Platte, great for their local tailwater.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're custom curating a fly box that's a kind of gold standard flies that we have here on the North Platte. But as you've said, Marvin, it's going to be effective patterns for folks on whatever tailwater they find themselves on. And so some of those patterns are going to be some tried and true classics that a lot of folks are accustomed to. There's some others that are pretty unique to our section of the North Platte and Bighorn here in central Wyoming. So we think there'll be some surprises in there, but there's going to be nymphs, there's going to be some dry flies and some streamers as well that we're really excited to put in someone's hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, if you weren't lucky enough to have your question answered on the Fishing Report, remember, you can always swing by the shop, let them know that you're a listener, and you'll get 10% off your purchase. And folks, we're heading into like another great fishing season. And as I always say, you really need to get out and fish now, because unless you're a steelhead fisherman, you're going to really regret not packing in the days at the tail end of the season.
Absolutely.
You got that in your future. So you're going to be grinding it out until the spring. But, for most people, they're going to be just kind of sitting by the fire, drinking a nice malted beverage during the winter, thinking about all the great times they had on the water.
Yep. So, I think you nailed that encouragement right on the head. Get out in the water, have some fun with some friends, and see what happens.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, folks, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dustin.
Tight lines, Marvin. Thanks so much.